Hi, in today's video I'm going to show you how I made this box using Whisper White cardstock, which I decorated myself using the Free as a Bird stamp set and coloured in with blends, and I made a designer series paper lid which is from our Subtle stack, and this is a 3x2 box. If you want to know how I made it, keep watching. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Free as a Bird stamp set, and I've already got the birds on the tree mounted up onto my block. I've cut a piece of Whisper White card that is the width of UK A4, so it's about 8 1/4. If you're using 8 1/2 by 11, just leave yours at 8 1/2, and then I've cut it at 5 inches. I'm going to use my trimmer to score just because I've got it out from cutting the card. So on the 8 1/4 or 8 1/2 inch side, depending on which one you're using, you want to score at 2, 4, 6 and 8. Now, because I'm using UK A4, I've only got a small narrow section here to put my adhesive. If you're using 8 1/2, yours will be wider, and that's perfectly fine. So that's the 2, 4, 6 and 8. I'm going to rotate it and score it at 2 inches. And if you can hear any noise, it's a warm day here and I've got the door open. So I normally at this point will fold and burnish, but what I'm going to do is just cut up the score lines at the minute, because I'm going to do some stamping and then I'll fold it afterwards. So I'm going to bring in my snips. In the bottom right hand corner, you've the skinny rectangle. I'm going to remove that completely. And then I'm just going to cut this bottom section just on a little wedge. And then I'm just going to cut up these up to the 2 inch score line. And then I'm going to wedge these ever so slightly. You don't have to do the wedging, but because they're effectively going to be a 2 inch square, it just takes a little bit of the bulk away. You can wedge both sides if you want, or just wedge one, it doesn't really matter. So that is how it's looking so far with the 2, 4, 6, 8 and the skinny rectangle. So now I'm going to bring in my stamp. I'm going to ink this up with Memento Tuxedo Black, and the 2 panels in the middle I'm going to centralise as best I can this stamp on there, with the bottom of the branches coming just on this score line. Just going to press gently and lift. Now I'm going to ink up just the right hand side, and then again I'm going to put the bottom of the stamp on the score line and just stamp that half of the stamp. Then I'm going to move it over and I'm going to ink the left hand side and do the same thing. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it's going to get folded and you probably won't see it, but you know, just If you use the bottom score line as a guide, then hopefully it will all flow together. So now I've got my blends. I've got light smoky slate, light pool party, light so saffron and light granny apple green. I'm going to use the smoky slate and colour in the branches. So I may speed this bit up. I'm going to use granny apple green for the leaves. So for my birds, I'm going to use light so saffron. And I'm just doing simple colouring, nothing fancy. And then finally, light pool party for the flowers. So now I'm going to fold and burnish the score lines. I'm going to bring in my silicone mat and I'm going to apply adhesive down the thin strip. Now I would use a wet adhesive or tearing tape, but just for the video I'm using snail. I'm going to line that up. So that's now the back of my box. So this will be the front. So I'm going to put adhesive on here, fold in the sides, and that's how that's looking now. Now for the lid, I'm using some paper from the Subtles stack, and because I've used So Saffron in my birds, I'm going to use So Saffron from here. And I'm going to be using the design with kind of like the diamond shape. So for this needs to be cut, this is 6 by 6, and this needs to be cut at 4 1/16 by 4 1/16. And then it needs to be scored at 1 inch on all 4 sides. So again, I'm just using the trimmer to do this, being as though I've got it handy. So now I'm going to fold and burnish. I'm going to bring my snips in and I'm going to cut up on each of these 1 inch 4 lines and notch out on both sides. And turn it round and do the opposites. Just going to bring in my silicone mat again, and again I'm going to use snail, but I would use something, probably snail actually might be alright with it being designer series paper, but I would probably use tear and tape or wet glue if I was giving this with a gift in it. So I'm just going to bring up the corners, press them down just to burnish them, and then this is going to fit on here perfectly. And there's our box, decorated with just simple Whisper White card, coloured in with some blends and a matching designer series paper lid. I hope you like the project. I'm not far away from 30,000 subscribers, so please subscribe if you don't already do so. I know there are a lot of people that still watch my videos that are not subscribed. As I say, nothing happens, just hit the bell notification icon and you'll be notified when I upload a video, and that's all there is to it really. So I hope you like the project and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.